We are back recording in wide vision. It's been a while, but here is the game plan. One is we need to do the mouth, and I basically either want to use these door flaps or these flaps in order to basically replace the tentacles with the hinges. I think it will just be funny. I don't think I'm going to use a Space Marine gunner. This is the most important one. Based on guns, I think the more prominent ones are just funnier. So we're definitely going to just look to include some of these. So the gun should be built like this. I've got to just clean it up. It's a bit dirty. But basically, game plan is for the mouth, we have the hatches. We're going to cut away the sprue and just add on some guns. We have the iconic smoke thingamajiggies in order to just have some smoke options. So we'll get some of those on. Maybe a spotlight or two. I don't think we're going to do RPGs. Maybe more door flaps. Let's just see what we can do. Don't need this, don't need that. Okay, so we can get rid of a lot of this. Camera, RPG, maybe the RPG. This, I think, goes on top of the cannon. Okay, so we got a game plan. This is looking okay. So join us today as we turn our psychophage into a Razorback, and that's the game plan. So some little bit of kit bashing fun, but I think at the bottom line is my Space Marine Army needs some more tanks and vehicles, and we got a perfectly willing body that's ready for an upgrade. So join me today as we do the upgrade. Okay, so we've sanded everything down. We have glued the gun. So we got the gun pretty much ready. It's been mounted and it can now move, which I'm happy with. But the circle itself, I'm a bit worried that it's just too big for the thin, narrow body of our Tyrannid. So I think I'm going to try and cut as much away on either side, but I just want a little bit of options. So cut. Always remember, whenever you kit bash, less is more. I say that and I'm probably going to mess it up. But in general, like, you can always slowly remove layers, but you can never put layers back. Though we do have our green stuff, or Tamaya Exoputty, just on standby. We have the door flaps ready. We got the smokes ready. So everything's come together quite nicely. And so essentially what we have are our two door flaps, the small ones, the big ones. I've got a camera, I've got the smokes, and I've got the gun. And I think we're in a good spot. So first things first, we are actually going to just... Okay, let's go. So I told you guys to measure and less is more, but the reality is I'm not going to do that. We're just going straight into it. this model needs to, oops, wow, that put a lot of pressure and we just cracked it open. Okay, well, no going back now. So that's happy. I kind of want to keep this. I've got an idea for the flame of what to use it for later. And I kind of want to keep as much of it as I can. So let's break that off. So that way I've got that if I need it. But now we got this to work with. Maybe a bit too much white, so I'm gonna go 1 to 1. You know what? I might just super glue this down now and just leave it like that. And that could be essentially the V1 of how this thing sits in. Because it's sitting like 90% how I want to. I'm kind of chuffed at how it's sitting. I just gotta let it set now. But I just gotta get it right on the money. But I'm quite happy with that. So what I'm gonna do now is I've got the epoxy just sitting underneath as like, just keeping it where I need it to be. So let's just drop in some super glue now and see if I can get it to stick. Okay, while the gun is drying, because I can't sand it or add any more gunk onto it yet, and also we've just essentially reinforced the bases with the leftover mini putt, just because essentially, just to make it a little bit more strong. And hold it, because we're planning to remove well, this is one of 3 extensions, which is the mouth part. So we are going to gut the mouth. I think we'll do it now, actually. Once again, less is more, but once again, I don't really listen to myself too often. So hacking away some of the mouth. And we just want to keep that angle. So trying to keep that shape. Cool. Happy. So let's just first do a little bit of cleanup. Except just the glue has done a phenomenal job. It's literally, look at that, without too much effort, it's literally just done a pretty fantastic job sealing itself in. I do have a big gap there that I need to fix and a little bit on the top, but all in all, this is super fixable and do it workable. But first, I want to fix its mouth. So the mouth, I have some fun ideas. It's a bit difficult, but let's just keep going. Okay, primed and ready. Most important thing is just put it to the max in order to... I didn't clean this part too well, but that's okay, because for the majority of the time the guns will be hiding it. So we're happy. We've now just got to essentially paint this bad boy. And I could have done a better job at cleaning, but it's okay. Just adds to the character. So most importantly, start with our blue.
We're continuing the tank today, and the plan is to make this fleshy part a little bit more gross. So we're going to go in with the Rickland flesh shade and just dirty it up a bit. And then the plan would be, I think, some agrax on the more...
As you can see, with just one shade of flesh and one super thick coat of flesh shade, and then a little bit of the Berserker blood shade for the mouth, as well as just some of the veins. Like, the details are pretty much coming quite nicely for the flesh. I don't think I really want to do too much. I'm quite happy with how it looks. I think it's really gross, really disgusting. I'm just trying to think if I want to add some extra things to the bone underneath, but I think I'm honestly okay with it. It's still looking good. Obviously, biggest issue right now is simply just, as I've done all the other layers and all the other paints, I've dirtied up my ultramarine blue for these scales. So I'm just trying to decide what to do there, but I'm also gonna, I think I'm gonna start finishing the guns. I'll go back to the armor later, because I think if I do the armor again and I fix it up and then I mess it up again by going back and doing some other colors, I'm not gonna be happy. I'm just gonna be constantly going, oops, and doing different, like fixing. So I think I'm gonna start with some black. So just Abaddon black, nothing fancy. Okay, now we're gonna go in straight with some burnt red. And this, I've got an idea, but the plan for it is basically, definitely want to do the lenses. So just putting... While we wait for the gloss to dry for the decals, I am gonna stop being unproductive and I'm gonna just get our soil effect and get an ugly ash brush and just start applying some to the base in order to just get some stuff done while I wait. Difficult because of the position, but try and put a little bit of water where you want it to go and then slowly just move it into the puddle. Oh dear. Oh, this is a tough one. Okay, now we gotta just pray that we don't rip this thing off. Okay, so once we get it roughly into position that we're comfortable and happy with, get a little bit of tissue and just do a little bit of a dab just to take and absorb as much of that water as possible. And now we got to go in with our decal softener. Hopefully it doesn't move around too much, but we just need to soften it up so that it gets in position and that the decal will stay where we need it to. Not too long. If not, we're gonna burn the paint. Press, press, press. Get it roughly into the position we need, and then that's it, done. And now, the final touch is you get a matte medium to undo all the damage we did before with the gloss medium, just to completely lock it back into place. So now we just get our matte medium, and that should now fix it. Alrighty then, we are in the final countdown. We have applied some blood technical paint just onto the two hatches to just make the mouth a little bit more gross. But decal is on, armor is looking great. So overall, very happy. I'm just gonna get a little bit of nail oil and drown this thing. I don't really have a plan, but if we look at the original concept, it was applied very generously, except to some of the marine parts. So I think I'm going to just start on the outer shell, applying a bunch of I think I'm going to try and stick to the underside of it and just push it out this way. Try not to get the whole shell, but I feel like I'm going to end up painting the entire shell, but in layers. So I'm going to slowly apply heavily underneath and then just push out a little bit, but not to the end. And that would help just create a more carapace, bug-like look.
You can't keep getting away with it! You can't keep getting away with it!
He won't.